What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying your lives to the fullest today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Buick Encore GX Preferred. Huge thank you to Duane Ferguson over at Koons, Tysons, Chevy, Buick GMC for allowing me to do this review for you guys today. If you guys are interested in this particular Encore GX or any GM product with the exception of Cadillac, I'll be sure to have Duane's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. Just like I always do, first we're going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Buick Encore GX Preferred, and this particular one has been painted in the optional $495 Ebony Twilight Metallic paint. One of the first things I wanted to say in this video is that for 2024, the Encore GX did get an interior and an exterior refresh that gives this a much sleeker look as compared to the 2023 model year. That's just my personal opinion, but you also do get a new dash layout, which we'll get into again as we progress along in this video. Now, like I just mentioned, for the 2024 model year, you do get an exterior refresh, and essentially what the exterior refresh did is give you updated front end styling, updated rear end styling, whereas the midsection of the vehicle remains relatively unchanged. But let's start up here at our updated front end. So at the top of the front end is where you will find your new LED daytime running lights and LED turn signals, and then working your way down just a tad bit more is where you'll find your LED headlights with IntelliBeam. IntelliBeam is just basically your automatic high beams. Now, also new for 2024 is the updated tri-shield logo, which you can find at the center and the top of your front bumper. You can also find that at the rear and on your steering wheel, as well as a couple of other places that are kind of more minuscule than the ones that I just pointed out. But working our way down just a tad bit is where you will find your gloss black front grille with a chrome grille surround. You also get some gloss black trim around your air ducts on both sides of your front end, so I can kind of give you guys a closer look at that. That is what I am referring to, and essentially that's an air duct that kind of helps with airflow to in turn lead to better fuel economy, or at least that's the hope with the Buick engineering team. Coming back out just a tad bit more, you also get a satin black lower grille with some satin gray trim, and then all the way at the bottom of your front bumper is where you'll find some more satin black trim. And then if you guys were wondering about the ground clearance, you get 7.5 inches of ground clearance with the 2024 Encore GX. Now, if you guys do not like the styling of this particular Encore GX, you could option for the Sport Touring, which is a trim level above this. So basically you get 3 trim levels with the 2024 Encore GX, starting with the Preferred, which is what this is. The middle range is the Sport Touring, and then all the way loaded up is called the Avenir. So just keep that in mind. This is essentially like the base model trim for the Encore GX. But working our way down the side, you get satin black wheel arch moldings with a side marker light. These are the standard and the only wheel option you can get on the Encore GX Preferred, and they are an 18-inch bright silver painted wheel wrapped in 225/55 Hankook Kinergy GT tires. Give you guys a view of the tires tread pattern there real quick. This does come with the ride and handling suspension, and actually handles pretty decent. I read online that this thing handles not that great, but just from my personal experience, I think that it's handled totally fine. Now, working our way into these side view mirrors, you get body color mirror caps, and these side view mirrors are heated. You get your blind spot monitoring as standard, which is basically on the upper left hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror. And then these mirrors are also manual folding as well. Now we'll do a little side profile action of the Encore GX Preferred. So that is what that looks like. You can see it really looks about the exact same as the 2024 or 2023 model year, excuse me, with like the body lines and stuff. Basically from about like there forward and then there, that is where you will notice the updates for the 2024 model year. But starting at the top, you get some chrome window trim, then you get some black window trim on the bottom. You get body color door handles with chrome strips and keyless access, and then all the way at the bottom of your passenger doors you get some satin black door cladding. Now also, obviously, just like any other real GM product, you do get a capless filler neck in here, and 87 octane will do you just fine. That is what your antenna looks like back here. You get a body color roof spoiler, and then do a little rear 3/4 angle of the Encore GX there real quick. You do obviously get a rear window defroster. You got your wiper right there, halogen taillights. You get chrome badging back here, and again, the new logo for Buick. on the 2024 model year there. And then also with the Preferred, as standard, you do get a manual opening lift gate. So all you got to do is find this little pad located right here and pull up. You guys know, if you guys are you know, familiar with a manual liftgate, which a lot of you might not be, because pretty much all vehicles now come with a power liftgate. If you guys do want the power liftgate, that is a $400 option that this one is not optioned with. But this is your cargo area cover, so essentially when you have your trunk closed, if thieves wanted to steal something, at least they can't see the contents of which that you have in your trunk with this cargo area cover. You get a little light right there. I would say that you could probably fit 4 or 5 carry-on suitcases back here. It is on the smaller side of things, but you know, this is a smaller vehicle after all. You get a little storage cubby over there, and then you get a spare tire and your tow hook underneath all of that back in here. And that's kind of about it for the trunk area. This is where you'll find your backup camera. So when I close that, your backup camera is about right there. And then coming down just a little bit, you get your reverse lights there and there. You get 2 reflectors. You get a satin black rear bumper with some satin gray trim, just to accent the front satin gray trim that you would find at the bottom of the front bumper there. This is the bottom of the rear bumper back here, and you also get a satin gray rear valance back here as well. Now, this one is relatively unoptioned, so there is an option that you can get to make this thing just a little bit nicer and a little bit easier to park and drive. So you could get the optional $1,095 advanced technology package, and basically what that gives you is some backup sensors, a 360-degree view camera system, as well as adaptive cruise control and a wireless charging pad. Again, this one has not been optioned with that, but you could get that as an option if that is something that you guys would be interested in getting. You know, this is still an affordable vehicle even with that as an option. But let me know what you guys think of the 2024 model year redesign for the Encore GX. Do you guys like it, or do you guys prefer the 2023 model year better? Again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. But with that out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 1.3 liter turbo inline 3-cylinder that makes 155 horsepower and 174 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 8.8 seconds. If you guys were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 26 miles per gallon in the city, 28 miles per gallon on the highway for 27 miles per gallon combined with all-wheel drive. Just keep in mind that when you guys option for all-wheel drive, you get the 1.3 liter turbo 3-cylinder and the 9-speed automatic transmission. So let's say, you know, you get front-wheel drive and you get the 1.3 liter turbo 3-cylinder, you're gonna get a continuously variable transmission. But when you get the all-wheel drive, you get the 1.3 liter as standard, and you also get the 9-speed automatic transmission. So in my opinion, this is the motor that I would definitely get, because I don't really like CVTs. If you guys are enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm now on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your guys' help. So please, if you've taken anything from this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But let's move into the interior. Like I mentioned earlier on in the video, you do get keyless access. So all you got to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, press on this button right here, and that will either unlock and or lock the vehicle, dependent on if the vehicle is unlocked and or locked. I did want to show you guys a couple of the functions on the key fob. So you have your unlock function, your lock function, your panic function, and then with the $1,295 comfort package, you get remote start. So we might as well take a listen to remote start. So to remote start it, press the lock button, press and hold on the remote start button, and that is what it sounds like when it fires up. Pretty underwhelming. It is a 3-cylinder after all. So let's move on into the interior. I'm going to turn the vehicle back off for audio's sake, and we'll take a look at the driver's side door panel. So from about here to here, that's all leather wrapped, and then you get some nice accent colored stitching. You also get a nicely padded armrest. You get a aluminum looking door handle. You get your unlock and your lock functions. Power side view mirror controls. Pressing on that button will restrict your passenger window privileges. You get an automatic up and down front driver window, but all the other windows are automatic down only. You get a great spot. You can set a phone right there, and then you get a cup holder and a little bit of miscellaneous storage space at the bottom of your door panel. Now, taking a look at the driver seat. Also with that $1,295 comfort package, you get an 8-way power adjustable driver seat with 2-way power lumbar. You also get heated seats with that package, a heated steering wheel, and a couple other things that I'll get into later on in this video. But those are the seat controls for your front driver's seat. Again, this does have the comfort package, which gives you that 8-way power driver's seat. But stepping on into the interior, some of you may be able to notice what's new right off the bat for the 2024 model year, so I might as well just jump right into it. So for 2024, now you get an 8-inch digital gauge cluster, which is right here, as well as an 11-inch infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. This looks like one continuous screen like what you would find in like a Cadillac, but it is not. It's basically one separate screen here and then one over there as well with some black backing. I'll show you guys that here in a minute, but pressing on that button right there pops this thing out. So basically you can brighten and or dim your gauge cluster with this little knob here. And then just to the right of that knob, you have another knob. So this is your headlight control knob. So twisting all the way to the right, that turns your headlights in the always on position. That is daytime running lights on. And then twisting it all the way to the left is headlights in the automatic position. That's probably what I would leave it on because GM does a pretty good job with their automatic headlights turning on and off when you want them to. But like I mentioned earlier on in the video, you get keyless access. That also means you get push button start. So all you got to do is have your key fob in the interior, push your foot on the brake, and then push to start. And the vehicle will fire up. I'm going to turn the climate control system down and the radio down as well. It's going to prompt me with letting me know that I'm in demo mode maybe. It's done that a couple times, but you also do get a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. You can hear it letting us know that we're in demo mode. Essentially what I mean by the tilting and telescoping, it basically means you can bring the steering wheel towards you, you can push it away from you, and then it also moves up and down again to your liking. But let's take a look at our turn signal stock. So this is your turn signal stock, your high beam control stock, and your automatic high beam on or off button is also mounted on that stock as well. But let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like. Zooming out, this is what your steering wheel looks like. It is a leather wrapped steering wheel. You get some accent colored stitching, and again with that comfort package you get a heated steering wheel. You may be able to know your Tri-Shield logo, which is new for the 2024 model year, is at the center of the steering wheel. Let's take a listen to the horn. That is what the horn sounds like on the 2024 Encore GX. So on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, you have your cruise control settings. So if you guys wanted adaptive cruise control, again, you're gonna have to option for the $1,095 advanced technology package, which would give you adaptive cruise control. Again, this one is not optioned with that, but that is to turn your heated steering wheel on or off. This is your gap adjust for your forward collision alert. And then coming over to here, that is to speak to the vehicle and or pick up on a phone call. That is to hang up on a phone call. This is going to bring you into your audio stuff. This will bring you into your phone stuff, and then you can also use these controls here all to control your 8-inch digital gauge cluster. But before I got into that, on the left hand side of the steering wheel, like behind here, you have your tuning controls, and then on the right hand side of the steering wheel behind here you have your volume controls. That's volume up and that is volume down, and then that is your windshield wiper control stock. Now we can move into our digital gauge cluster. So going throughout our gauge cluster, this is like what the home screen looks like. So you got your compass stuff, get your fuel stuff, your coolant temperature stuff. That is your fuel range. That lets you know which side to fill the vehicle up with gas on. So basically it's pointing to the left-hand side, meaning you fill the vehicle up with gas on the driver's side. Transmission status down there, letting us know that we are in park. Digital speedometer readout. And then down there is your odometer. That is like your driver assistance settings. And that's, you know, kind of about it for that. You can see you kind of have like an analog speedometer there, and then the faster you go, like let's say you hit 30 miles an hour, then 60 miles an hour will pop up on your speedometer, if that makes sense. So let's go throughout this screen, shall we? So pressing on this button right here, you can go in between your different audio sources. So you get your AM, your FM, your Sirius XM. You also have Bluetooth audio and stuff like that, but I do not have a phone connected at the moment. And then you also have this button right here that will bring you into your phone stuff. I don't have a phone connected at the moment, so that is why you can't really do anything on there. So let's go into this screen. I am in demo mode, so I think it is limiting me from doing a couple things on this screen. So, you know, for now, that's kind of about it for the digital gauge cluster. So moving on over to here, this is your volume control knob. You can volume up, you can volume down, and then you can also mute the audio system by just clicking on that. But again, New for 2024, you get an 11-inch infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. So up top there, you have the ambient exterior temperature. Not only is it hot, it is also humid as heck. And then that is the current time. Over here, you have your different shortcut buttons. So basically you have your audio button, your phone button. That is basically like your vehicle diagnostic stuff. So you can see what that looks like there. You get your trip information stuff. You can go into that, and then you can go in between your different fuel economy stuff, go into that, and then you can go in between some different gauges, which is pretty cool. So those are your different gauges, and then you go into this trip screen here, and then you can also go into this maintenance screen. So that is what that looks like. And then all the way at the bottom, you have your home shortcut button, which will bring you into this home screen here. So you get your Android Auto stuff, your Apple CarPlay stuff. Again, both of those are wireless. Then you have your settings button here, and then you can also go in between your Wi-Fi stuff. So this is a Wi-Fi hotspot capable vehicle. I did use the Wi-Fi hotspot, and it actually worked very, very well. And then you have your notification stuff up there. If you can see that little bell. So you have no notifications at the moment. And then that's kind of about it for that screen. Coming down a little bit more, you get 2 HVAC vents, you get a hazard button there, then you get single zone climate control with the Preferred. So you get your controls for your temperature there, and then that's your fan speed stuff. This is what your climate control stack looks like. Again, with the comfort package, you guys get heated front seats. You get 3 levels of adjustability with those heated front seats. You get a USB-C port, a USB-A port, and a 12-volt power outlet. You get a good amount of miscellaneous storage space down there, and then you get these different buttons here. So all the way at the left, that is your auto stop start button, and then just to the right of that, you have your all-wheel drive button, so you can turn the all-wheel drive system on or off by the push of that button. That is your lane keeping button right there, so you can turn your lane keeping assist on or off by the push of that button. And then that is for your traction control system, again, on or off. Coming out just a little bit, you get 2 cup holders here. You get the good old-fashioned gear shift selector, so it's got a nice feel to it. You can go into drive, and then you can upshift and or downshift with these 2 buttons here, but I do believe you have to be in L in order to upshift and downshift. So if you're in L, then you can upshift and downshift with these. Again, these buttons here on the side are to upshift and downshift. You get the electronic parking brake here, some more miscellaneous storage. You get a nicely padded armrest, get a little bit of storage space in there. You can take that out if you wanted to as well. And then sticking my forearm down in there, I would say 45 to 50% of my forearm fits down in there. We can put that back, close that. You do not get a lockable glove box, but you get a decent amount of storage space in your glove box there. The dash is relatively basic. You know, you get some plastic up top here. It's basically like vinyl wrapped. Then you get some of this aluminum looking trim with a nice texture to it. You know, that's kind of about it. Again, this is the Preferred, so this is the starting trim level for the Encore GX. You get just a standard rear view mirror here. You get your OnStar stuff up top there that lets you know if your passenger airbag is on or off. Driver and passenger lights are both halogen, and then you have your different light settings for the lights. Coming over to here, that is a little clip. You can set money, registration, or any small paper product. Opening this up, you get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights, and then this visor also slides forwards and backwards to your liking. You get a Bluetooth mic pickup for a Bluetooth phone there. You get the same thing over there on the passenger side as well, but you may notice that the passenger gets an O-Poop handle, but the driver does not get an O-Poop handle. And that's, you know, kind of about it for what we got going on up here. The driver's side or passenger side door panel looks pretty much the exact same as what you would find on the driver's side. But there are a couple things that I wanted to go over before we moved on into those rear seats. So again, this one has been optioned with the $1,295 comfort package, and that gives you the remote start, the 8-way power driver seat with the 2-way power lumbar, as well as the heated front seats, the heated steering wheel. You also get a front passenger seat that folds flat, and then you also get a second row center fold down armrest with that package as well. I'll show you guys that in those rear seats. And then the only other option that this vehicle has been optioned with is the $175 all-weather floor mats. They're not in the vehicle at the moment, but you do get that with this particular vehicle. And then one optional option that you could get that I would recommend getting, or a recommended option. You can skip it if you want to. You can not skip it if you don't want to. But you could get the $1,095 advanced technology package, which again gives you the 360-degree view camera system, the rear parking sensors, adaptive cruise control, and the wireless charging pad. Another option that you could get is the $400 power liftgate. This one does not have that, but you could get that as an option if that is something, you know, that you wanted to get, because, you know, again, this vehicle does not have that option. So now I'm gonna throw some safety and security stuff on screen, and I'm gonna read that along with you. So basically this gets Buick driver confidence that includes IntelliBeam, a following distance indicator, forward collision alert, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, lane change alert with side blind zone alert, rear cross traffic alert, the backup camera, teen driver, a tire pressure monitoring system, and a tire fill alert, which is I think when you fill it up all the way, or the tires all the way up with air, they give you a little beep, basically letting you know that the vehicle is, you know, full with air. But basically now I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. You guys can take a look at the window sticker, whatever you want to. But again, the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Encore GX Preferred all-wheel drive is spec'd is $30,860. Let me know what you guys think of that price in the comments down below. Do you think you get a lot for your money? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. But I do want to show you what we got going on in these rear seats before we moved into the driving portion of the review. So let's see what we got going on back here. So again, driver's side door panel back here in the rear. Looks pretty much the exact same as what you would find in the front, with the leather wrapping, the stitching, the door handle. Again, automatic down windows in the back only. Let's see how far they roll down. So they go all the way down. That's always nice. Then you get a little bit of miscellaneous storage space down there, and then that also doubles as a cup holder as well. This is what your rear seats look like. Again, with that comfort package, you get a center fold down armrest with 2 cup holders. I am sitting behind myself. I am 5'9". Get a little bit of leg room, get a little bit of knee room left over. I'll show you guys a view of that from the side as well, just to show you guys how much is left. And that's a better view. Seat back pocket behind the driver's seat. You also get a seat back pocket behind the passenger seat. Again, this seat does fold flat if you wanted to do that. You know, if you sat back here, you could use that as like a footrest. But get your 2 lights up top here, as well as a Bluetooth mic pickup for your Bluetooth phone. Get an OPU panel and a spot you could set your dry cleaning. Same thing over there on that side as well. And then last but not least, down here you get a spot you could set your phone down in here if you wanted to. And then you get a USB-A port and a USB-C port. But really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in these second row seats. So we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the rear seats of the Encore GX Preferred. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I will see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, guys, and now on to the driving portion of the review. And even though this thing is an inline turbo 3-cylinder, and those, honestly, those horsepower and torque numbers seem, you know, relatively anemic, but when you guys get in here and you actually drive this thing, it actually like accelerates rather quickly, and you'd be surprised by the acceleration in the low end torque of this motor. Like, I guess this vehicle must be rather light, because it really does accelerate actually, you know, relatively well considering those horsepower and torque numbers. But another thing I wanted to say is that I read online people complaining about the way that this thing drives and handles and stuff. And while it doesn't handle, you know, the greatest, you know, it doesn't handle terribly. Like, yes, there is a little bit of body roll, but, you know, I guess that's kind of what to be expected. You know, after all, this is a Buick. You know, this isn't really made to handle amazingly well. It's more made to, you know, handle, but also to be a very comfortable vehicle, you know, to drive in and to sit in and stuff like that, which kind of leads me into my next point, is that these seats are actually, you know, relatively comfortable. You know, a lot of times when you get into a GM vehicle, their seats are rather firm. And, you know, these seats are relatively firm, but they're like a good firmness for comfortable, if that makes sense. So they are comfortable to sit in, and with this suspension being the way that it is, it rides very, very well, and I feel like I could do a nice road trip with this. Also, I have not driven the 1.2 liter motor, but this is again the 1.3 liter motor, and I would say that this is probably the motor to get, just because, you know, even with it being the relatively bigger motor by like 1 or 0.1 liters, this is probably the motor you want to get because it actually accelerates this thing up to speed quickly. It's a good motor. It comes with the 9-speed automatic transmission as compared to the CVT. So I'm not really a fan of CVTs. Again, that's just my personal opinion. I don't really like the way that they behave, dependent on the brand, because Subaru does make a good CVT. But even if, you know, if Subaru offered a CVT and an automatic transmission, then I would obviously choose the automatic over the CVT. That is just, again, personal opinion and personal preference, but I always like an automatic over a CVT, and this 9-speed works very, very well to keep this motor in its power band. So going over a couple bumps, suspension just soaks them up very, very well. Again, the handling's all right. You know, there is a little bit of body roll, you know, it's just kind of how it is, but that makes for it to have a very comfortable feeling suspension when you guys drive it over bumps and when you guys are on the highway and stuff like that. So this is a very comfortable driving vehicle, even if that means that it comes at the expense of like really good handling. So it's more of a comfortable handling suspension rather than like a sporty handling suspension. So that might be, you know, something that a lot of you guys actually prefer, you know what I mean, when you're looking at this sort of vehicle. But just keep in mind, like, if you are trying to carve up a pack road with this thing, which I don't think any of you guys are really trying to do anyway, you know, it's going to struggle a little bit because there is a little bit of body roll. But overall, this is a really nice vehicle, and for $30,000, I think it's actually pretty good. You know what I mean? Comparing this to like Subarus, which are also, you know, let's compare this to like the Subaru Crosstrek, right? So I just got out of a Subaru Crosstrek Sport the other day, and I will have to say that this feels more powerful than the Subaru Crosstrek Sport I did a video with. Now, that's a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. This is a turbo 3-cylinder, so, you know, the turbo might have something to do with it, but I believe that Crosstrek Sport actually made more horsepower than this. So it's kind of interesting. I think this thing puts the power down better, and that could be due in part to this having a 9-speed as compared to a CVT. I like the way that this looks better than the 2023 model year. I'm not sure if you guys will agree with me or disagree with me on that, but I think it looks sleeker than the 2023. Again, that's personal opinion, and I also really like how now you get the digital gauge cluster and you get a nice 11-inch infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. If you guys want wireless charging, you want an adaptive cruise control system, then you might want to get the advanced technology package. Again, this one does not have that package. Then if that is not enough for you guys and you want something that looks a little bit sportier, then you might want to get the Sport Touring trim level. Again, this is the preferred. There are three trim levels to the Encore GX. So there's the preferred, which is what this is. There's the Sport Touring, which is the mid-range, and then there is the Avenir, which is the loaded up model. So you get a couple different models or trim levels to choose from, dependent on what you guys are looking for. So if you are looking for, you know, a affordable vehicle, you don't really need all the frills and stuff like that, then, you know, the preferred might be the one for you to get. But if you guys are, you know, still looking for an affordable vehicle, but you want something that's relatively loaded, then you're going to want to look at the Avenir. So they got a couple different options for those of you, you know, depending on what you are looking for. So that's kind of about it for this vehicle. So that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give the video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm now on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot achieve that goal without your help. So if you took anything from this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.